I'm Arianesh Birdie.
I'm Michelle Rojas-Soto.
And I'm Jasmine Singer.
As the founder and executive director of Encompass, we are so excited to share with you our new book, Antiracism and Animal Advocacy, Igniting Cultural Transformation.
Inspired by Encompass's racial equity trainings, this collection of essays was written by farm animal protection leaders who are committed to exploring and prioritizing racial equity as we work to create a more effective and just animal protection movement.
As the editor of this anthology, it is my hope that we can use this book to hold ourselves and one another accountable, ultimately creating new paths forward.
Black, Indigenous, and other people of the global majority have been fighting for liberation from white supremacy for centuries. And while we've made progress, the work is far from over.
The 2020s have the power to be truly transformative. So as we look to the future, we must own our power and use it to ground animal advocacy in a culture of equity with concrete steps towards action. Only then will we make lasting change for animals.
Join our movement. Read our book.
Together, let's ignite cultural transformation.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Arianesh.
Hi, Jasmine. So great to see you.
It's so great to see you, too. Why, look at that. We have a similar background. Hey, Michelle. Happy launch day. Hi to everyone in the crowd. Tell us where you're from. We are so excited that today is finally here. I'm Jasmine Singer. I'm here with Arianesh Berdy and with Michelle Rojas-Soto. We are all thrilled about today's launch. Welcome to the official virtual launch party for the book, Antiracism in Animal Advocacy, Igniting Cultural Transformation. Keep it coming. Tell us where you're from. Let's keep the energy up. We are so delighted that you're joining us. As I mentioned, I'm the editor of this anthology, and I am so lucky to serve on the advisory council for Encompass. You'll also find me at the Our Hen House podcast, which I co-host, and as an editor for Veg News Magazine and an author. This has been a completely thrilling event. We're here to celebrate. We're here to have important discussions. We're here to get to know one another, including you. And please feel free to use the chat to help us celebrate throughout the event. And there will be a Q&A feature too, so send any questions our way. Again, we want to hear where you're from. Oh, and a very important part of what you're looking at right now is not just Arianesh and my lipstick color, but it's also the Get the Book button at the bottom of the page. Click that button and get the book. Arianesh, tell us what's going to happen tonight.
Oh my gosh. Hello, everyone. Jasmine, Michelle. It's so great to see you. I am the founder and executive director of Encompass. We're just so excited to be here. Am I getting an echo?
Well, I'm not hearing an echo, so keep going and and let us know in the chat if we're hearing an echo. It's real live TV right here.
Thank you. So I just want to say I am seeing almost 240 people here. That is amazing. So many familiar names in the chat box. I love seeing where y'all are joining us from. So today you'll hear a lot. You'll hear how our book came to fruition. A few of us are going to read excerpts from our essays. We'll have some rapid fire questions with some of our contributors. We have a special note from Representative Jamie Raskin, who ran the Trump impeachment hearings. Martin Rowe, our publisher, will be here, and we're going to have 3 chances to win fabulous prizes. So there's a lot. Michelle, hello. It's so good to see you. How are you?
I am well. Thank you, Arianesh. It's so good to be here with everyone. Hello, my name is Michelle Rojas-Soto, and I am just delighted that you're here with us as well. This book, Antiracism and Animal Advocacy, Igniting Cultural Transformation, could not have happened without all of our wonderful contributors and writers. If you are in the house, please say hello and drop your favorite emoji in the chat. We want to see favorite emojis. I want to give a special shout out to everyone who wrote for this book. Unny Nambudiripad, Dana McFall, Jamie Berger, Malina Tran, Michelle Graham, Christopher Eubanks, Kaylin Labarge, Brooke Haggerty, Shayna Robotham, Rachel Huff Wagenborg, PJ Nyman, Steen Vanderplug, Michaela Sacoccio. I think I got everyone. I'm so grateful for all of you. You shared so much of yourselves with honesty, with vulnerability, and that really comes through in these pages. I am loving this so much. Jasmine, are you loving this too?
I'm like dying over here. This has been such an incredible journey, and it's thrilling to hear you name all of the beautiful contributors. So keep it up. Let's dive in and start at the very beginning. It is, as I hear, a very good place to start. Arianesh, can you tell us about yourself and Encompass and the Racial Equity Institute?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just want to say thank you, Jasmine. We have been so lucky to have you as our amazing editor for this anthology. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everyone for being here. Again, if you're just joining, I'm Arianesh Berdy, the founder and executive director of Encompass. So I founded Encompass in 2017 because I saw an urgent need for the animal protection movement to be more racially equitable. And I joined the movement in 1997 as a mere 12-year-old. And in that time, I've seen so many amazing strides, so much progress, and I have noticed that something really important is missing. And so let me back up a little bit and share a little bit about me and my story. So my parents immigrated to the United States from Pakistan in 1985, and I was born later that year. And I like to say that I'm an extension of their love story. They came together taking care of the stray dogs and cats on the streets of Karachi. And when they came to the US, they wanted to impart an animal ethic in me and my sister. So we were the kind of family that never ate veal because we knew that there was immense cruelty in that, but we ate chickens every day. And there was this cognitive dissonance that was just so alive and real in so many of us. And so similarly, as I was working on understanding my racial identity, I was having some disconnects. And that was largely because I am one of the true Caucasian people from the Caucasus Mountains in Asia. And that word has really been co-opted and changed in the United States to mean white, where that's not the kind of original integrity of like where my people come from. And so because I have a lot of light skin privilege, I was afforded the opportunity to not interrogate my race in a really deep way. And so it wasn't until 1997, 9/11, 20 years ago, when I was called some pretty intense racial slurs pretty directly. And it was that happening with just becoming older. When I ended up going to college, I developed a deeper understanding of how complicated and how consequential race is in our country, how interconnected oppressions are. And I noticed how race and racism were being perpetuated and ignored in our movement, in this movement that is founded on principles of compassion and justice. So we're all here today because we know that animals need everyone's advocacy. We also know that our movement is a small fraction of what it can be and that animals suffer and die as a result. And so I founded Encompass because I knew that we could be bigger and that we could be better, and making the movement more effective by fostering racial diversity, equity, and interdependence is vital so that everyone can bring 100% of their brilliance to work for animals. And so one of the ways we did this is through the Racial Equity Institute. We founded our first institute in March of 2020, last year. It was so well received that we decided to host a second one later that year. The institutes were 2-day training opportunities for movement advocates. We trained over 75 people throughout the United States and internationally. And we have another one coming up at the end of October, so we'd love to have you join us. So I'm gonna stop there. I've been rambling for quite a few minutes here, but that's some of the context for how and why we're here today. I'd love for Jasmine or Michelle or someone else to kind of explain how we went from an institute to a book. So Jasmine and Michelle, I'd love to bring you back up. Michelle was our fabulous managing director for 2 years. In May, she left us to join as Chief Talent Equity Officer at KIPP SoCal Charter Schools, and I'm just so delighted to be here. So yes, please join me in welcoming Michelle.
Hi, everybody. I miss you all very much as well. Encompass is near and dear to my heart. I love serving on the advisory council, and I love the opportunity of being here with you today to talk about this book.
You have been a dream, and I'm just so excited that you're here and that we're still connecting.
I'm so glad. So let me tell you more. If you're new to us or if you're new to this book project, after that first Racial Equity Institute in March of 2020 that Arianesh was talking about, Jasmine approached us about keeping the conversations going through a blog series written by the people who attended the Institute. And originally it was conceived as a way to help the participants remain accountable for the choices that they were making in anti-racism. And I love that. It was public and also intimate accountability. So we reached out to all of the attendees and asked if they wanted to contribute their personal stories and reflections. It was always meant to be a mixture of personal stories and commentary. It was never meant to be a how-to book, which I think is very unique, which makes this project very, very unique. We wanted to hear from the folks who work every day, morning to night, on the connection between non-human animals and the health of the movement in and of itself. And so what you see here includes a lot of self-reflection, a lot of learning demonstrated through the pages. And I know that as the year has gone by, those learnings that you see on the page have continued to grow and evolve for all of the contributors that I mentioned earlier. Of the 26 participants that were in that initial institute, 9 said yes, plus Arianesh and I, and we went on to write moving and very powerful essays. Jasmine agreed to be editor, thankfully, and her expertise and background in editing and writing helped guide us through this whole process. So Jasmine, can you tell us more about your experience as an editor and working with each of the contributors?
Oh, absolutely. It was such an honor. Nothing I've done has been more of an honor than this. I've been involved in the farmed animal protection movement for a long time, almost 20 years. And before that, I was an activist in a variety of other social justice areas. And this was such a joy, not only because the contributors are, like, if I can say, total badass activists, but they also really showed up with vulnerability and with a desire to learn. And I learned so much in the process, because what would happen is, after I would work with the contributors a few times for a few back and forths to help really bring their story out, since personal narrative is such an important way of creating social change, I would then hand off the documents to Michelle and Arianesh, and they would weigh in. And let me tell you, this was a front seat to learning how to grow as an activist, as an anti-racist activist, as an animal activist. And I could not believe that this was an opportunity that I was getting. So then we would send the feedback back to the writers, back to the contributors, and they would do another draft, and this went on and on. And we were so fortunate to collaborate with Sentient Media to release the essays on their website. So it was 2 a month from July to December of 2020, and then another wave in the beginning of 2021. And we'll actually hear from Anna Bradley, the executive director of Sentient Media, in a little bit. And then flash forward to July of 2020, I was approached by my old pal, Martin Rowe from Lantern Publishing and Media, with their interest in publishing the essays into a book. We were so surprised. We were so delighted. This is not something that you get the opportunity to have happen very often. And I'm really looking forward to talking to Martin a little bit later as well. What an incredible, incredible time this was. It was all happening during such a difficult moment, the pandemic, and such a difficult moment with the racial justice uprising after the murder of George Floyd. So at that time, the support and enthusiasm that we found for this project, it was really healing. It gave us something to really grasp onto. Right, Arianesh?
Totally. You captured it all completely perfectly. I am so excited about this. One little tidbit that we'll get into, but I just want to plug it a few times, is that the project doesn't end here. Our hen house will be making this book come to life as an audiobook and a podcast. So there'll be more about that at the end, but I just want to say that we are continuing on. I'm really hoping that we can keep this project alive and going. So Michelle, I'd love to pass it over to you to read a part of your essay, just for a couple minutes, just so people can get kind of a flavor of our tone and how we're approaching this work.
I would love to do that. Thank you. I chose a piece from my essay that I remember writing with a lot of love for all the contributors who first came to that inaugural institute, and also love for everyone else that I had met in 3 years of working in the animal protection movement, visiting, collaborating online. It really speaks to me as I read it to you now about how much we as animal advocates give of ourselves to the movement, to each other, and how this is really a home for many of us. So here it is. Collectively, our goal is to end farmed animal suffering and exploitation worldwide. And yet, the institutional animal protection movement does not share a worldview or culture with the world it is trying to influence and transform. By Encompass's estimations, about 11%, 11% of farmed animal advocates in the United States are Black, Indigenous, or people of the global majority. This is in sharp contrast to Black, Indigenous, and people of the global majority being 39.9% of the US population, estimated by the Census Bureau. So 11% versus 39.9%. In any other setting, this 72% racial representation deficit would be recognized as a systemic failure. And yet, in the animal protection movement, many struggle to understand the serious negative consequences of having a cadre of white-led organizations attempting to build a global movement. What is up with this colossal divide? Nor does this movement live like the rest of the world. Currently, nonprofits whose goals are to change the treatment of animals are clustered along the coasts of the United States, where mostly white, upper middle class advocates create strategies that are exported to other cultures, perpetuating an imperialistic approach that has caused much harm to people in the Americas, Africa, Australia, and Asia. For the sake of the farmed animals we advocate for, we must realize that the white American experience is not neutral. It is not a clean slate on which we can sprinkle bits of diversity and ethnicity for flavor. We must check ourselves every time we center whiteness in animal advocacy, which happens every day, because white supremacy culture is leading us astray. White supremacy in the movement is why I stayed away in the first place, and it is why I am writing this essay now. The antidote to white supremacy is equity, the state where everyone has what they need to succeed, and identity does not predict outcomes. So let us work on equitable movement building so that we can develop the capacity to transform animal agriculture worldwide. Our community-wide challenge, should we choose to accept it, is to open our eyes to white supremacy all around and to not look away when it overwhelms us.
Michelle, I'm your biggest fan. I love your brain. I love your writing. I love your mission in this world. Thank you so much for reading that. If you're also moved, hit the button that says buy the book at the bottom of the screen, there it is. So get that book. And let's bring Brialle Ringer up to give away some amazing prizes. Brialle, everyone's waiting for you. We're so excited about these prizes. This is such an exciting moment. We're just going to bring Brialle up. If you are watching this right now and waiting for prizes, tell us how much you want it in the chat, because we have some amazing ones. We're just bringing her up right now. It is such an honor to be able to hear some of these people talking and reading from the pieces. As Arianesh mentioned, as we're bringing Brialle up, I'll just plug again that our Hen House, which is a nonprofit media organization that I co-founded 12 years ago with Marianne Sullivan, is going to be publishing the audiobook essays that pertain to all of these chapters. So that will come out on the Our Hen House podcast every Thursday throughout October. So I know that Brialle is having a little tech problem right now. So I'll just say thank you so much to everyone who is here. And there's Brialle. Brialle, our names rhyme. Brialle Ringer, Jasmine Singer. I think we should go on the road. I'm just saying.
I love it. I love it. Hello, everyone. My name is Brialle, and I'm the new program director here at Encompass. And I'm so excited to give away some fabulous prizes for everyone here. So you're going to hear from me 3 times this evening. So if you don't win this round, no worries. There are more opportunities for great giveaways. So first up, one lucky winner is going home with a copy of our book launching this evening, Antiracism and Animal Advocacy. And for fun, we're going to toss in 2 bottles of Tabitha Brown Sunshine Seasoning. What you choose to season it with, that's your business, okay?
I think I won this, actually. Let's just go to the next prize.
That's how I feel. I want this prize as well. So we can duel it out for this one with whoever actually wins. Our next prize is from our friends over at Dr. Bronner's and their new vegan chocolate bar line with 6 decadent flavors. Okay, all the deliciousness here that you are going home with. And you're also going to get 2 soaps from Lush, their baked Alaska bar with uplifting lemon, myrtle, and grapefruit oil, and the Shooting Star bar with a blend of bergamot, lemon, and lime. Ooh, so divine. 2 lucky winners are going home with this prize.
I love Dr. Bronner's, and they're all ethically sourced, and I am going to eat that because whoever wins it is going to share it with me. Yes. Putting it out there.
And our final prize for this round is a fun gift package from our friends at Tofurky. So in here, you're going to have a lovely beanie for those chilly nights as we transition into sweater weather, a t-shirt to show off your Tofurky pride, and some coupons for free products. And 1 lucky person is going home with this, in addition to a couple of soaps from Lush, just to make it a little more lush.
Wow, that is amazing. Such great prizes. I love the way people are really coming out to celebrate our book. What an honor it is. And Brialle, you're such a wonderful addition to the Encompass team. So on behalf of everyone at Encompass, welcome to the team. It's so exciting.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. So let's get a little drum roll for these prizes. The winner of the book of essays and Tabitha Brown Sunshine Seasoning is Liz Cabrera Holtz. Okay, so we have our first winner. By the way, if you win, our team's going to reach out to you to get your address and send you your gifts.
Congrats, Liz. Be my best friend.
And the winners of our chocolate bars and Lush soaps are Tyler Starr and Sasha Gale. Whoop, whoop.
Tyler and Sasha. I love it. Good job winning.
Lastly, for this segment, the winner of the Tofurky prize packages and Lush soaps is Beth Redwood.
Beth! Woo! Yeah, well done. That is so awesome. Brialle's going to be back. Congrats to all of our winners. So excited for you. And next up, we have something I'm also super excited about. Christopher Soul Eubanks is going to be joining us. Christopher is on the Encompass Advisory Council, is a contributor in the book, and is a climate, human, and animal rights activist dedicated to doing advocacy work to combat all forms of oppression. Welcome, Christopher. I'm so excited you're here. It's so great to see you, to celebrate the book with you.
Yes, it is so exciting to be here. I'm happy. It seems like this has come out of the blue, but it took a while at the same time. It seems like it's all just one great happy event. So I'm really happy to be here.
Well, I know that you and Brialle have something very special planned, so I'm going to leave the stage right now, and you could tell us what you're cooking up.
Amazing. So we have some rapid fire questions for Christopher.
All right. Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I don't know. Quick question. I always have a problem thinking fast on my feet. So let's see what happens. I don't know. I'm not responsible.
All right. I'm going to get the timer going. We'll see what we get through. Okay.
The views that I expressed are not the views of Encompass. Just letting people know. Get that out of the way right now.
Okay. Perfect. So what's your favorite vegan meal?
My favorite vegan meal is a tie between, I'm very simple, plantains and watermelon.
Ooh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
That's it.
What have you done that you're most proud of?
Honestly, I've just started my own nonprofit, my own animal rights nonprofit. So that's what I'm the most proud of right now.
What's the name of your nonprofit? Go ahead and plug it.
So it's Apex Advocacy. Apex stands for Animal Protection, Equality, Intersectionality.
Amazing. Okay, what's your most memorable vegan activist moment?
Ooh, my most memorable vegan activist moment. It's probably when I spoke to someone and it was at a vegan outreach event, and they actually started to be a part of the event and became vegan on the spot and started advocating with us. So that's my most memorable moment.
Wow, that's really powerful. How amazing. Why should people read this book that's coming out?
People should read this book because it is authentic, it is real, it is new, it's something that the animal rights movement needs and something that this protection movement hasn't had before in this light. We haven't had these stories compiled in such a way. So it is required reading in my eyes for animal advocates.
I totally agree. Okay, so let's see. Who's your favorite musical artist?
Nas is the best. Nas is the GOAT, the greatest. He just released an album, King's Disease 2. I'm not on his marketing team, but please go buy that, listen to it, stream it wherever you can. Nas.
Okay, here's my favorite one because we love talking about self-care. How do you manage stress?
I manage stress by relaxing and doing absolutely nothing. And I am a big proponent of being lazy and just binge watching, just taking some time out to myself. So, we all have to do things that we're passionate about, that we love, and that's amazing and great, but we have to take time to ourselves. So, my solace a lot of times is just doing nothing. And I also like to sit and take long hot showers. I like to sit down in the shower for like 30 minutes and just let the water hit my body.
Yes, I'm a bath girl myself, but love that. It was amazing to learn a little bit more about these fun things about you. And on a more serious note, I'd love to know, in your essay, you talked about feeling isolated in the animal protection movement as a Black man. What are some of the things that have helped to break that isolation?
One of the things was searching to find other people that I could relate to. So when I first started doing activism, there I didn't have a lot of people that I knew, and also people of color that I could talk to. But there were some, and one may not have known. She was like my silent mentor, but I kind of went to her and kind of relied on her for a lot of input. So I actively searched for spaces where I felt both worlds merged. Sometimes I just joined a lot of vegan meetup groups and just started to kind of ingratiate myself in the culture locally. So that was one of the things that I did. And also, I became more vocal about how I felt. And once I became more vocal about it, I think people understood it more. And not to say that, any special accommodations were made, but I just feel like it wasn't an elephant in the room anymore. I hope that's not speciest. But yeah, it was no longer like something that I was dealing with by myself or internally. I think people understood that, oh, this is a thing that actually someone is feeling. And I was able to address it and started to talk about it and started to, get messages and hear from other people that felt the same way. So it kind of started to feel like I wasn't in it as alone as I previously felt.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm
That's
really glad
beautiful.
we connected this movement.
Yeah.
Thank
you both so much. Christopher is such an incredible activist, and I was so inspired by what you said about self-care. And I don't know if you're watching this right now, please know that when you leave comments, it gives us so much energy and it makes us feel so connected to you. So I would love to know what you do for self-care. If you're leaving a comment, tell us what you do. And just so you know, when this is done, I'm going to take a cue from Christopher and take a long hot shower. I'm so excited about it. Thank you both so much. And now we have got a very special treat all the way from London. Anna Bradley, the executive director of Sentient Media, is going to be joining us. Her background is in content production and startup consultancy. And she has sent us a very special note via video. And after this video, hang on, because Arianesh will be back to read from her essay. Here's Anna Bradley.
Hi everyone, I'm Anna Bradley, Executive Director of Sentient Media, a non-profit journalism outlet dedicated to creating transparency around the use of animals in our daily lives. Firstly, I want to say a huge congratulations on the launch of this book, Antiracism in Animal Advocacy, Igniting Cultural Transformation. What an incredible achievement. It is truly inspiring to me to see what such a small group of dedicated individuals can achieve when we come together, lift each other up, educate each other, support each other, and share our lived experiences in this supportive, open, honest community. It really is. When I was contacted by Jasmine Singer to chat about what we could do with this series of essays, I didn't pause for breath. I was like, let's publish it on Sentient Media immediately. We were already working on various new series ideas and trying to create a better environment for those who are underrepresented in animal protection and journalism. But this series and this collaboration was absolutely, it was a pleasure and a joy to be involved in. And it shows how important it is to have this message of equity and inclusion in animal protection. But these essays symbolize more than that. They demonstrate a real need and a desire for these archaic narratives and structures to finally shift. And at Sentient Media, we're really sitting at these crossroads between journalism and animal protection. And I believe we have a responsibility to not only create transparency around the use of animals in our daily lives, but also to help build a platform with equity at its core. In fact, working with Encompass and our hen house on this series has helped us take steps towards that. And within a couple of days of publishing the first essays, we were starting to receive new pitches from voices who we probably wouldn't have otherwise heard from. And we are proud to become a publisher and work to be a publisher where voices and opinions of those who are underrepresented can talk about their views on the food system and the injustices that run deep within it for non-human and human animals. So the publishing of this book, I think, represents a huge step in the right direction. And I'm endlessly inspired by the contributors, the whole team from Encompass, our hen house, and the whole team here at Sentient Media and at Lantern Publishers. We are together helping to shift the narrative in the right direction. And now we need to help spread this message, encourage decision makers and policymakers to consider their actions, question behaviors, and ultimately do better. So congratulations, everyone. And here is to an awesome, well-deserved launch.
That was amazing. I wish you were here, Anna, but thank you for sending your video. So I wanted to read a little bit from my essay, one of my essays. I have two in here. I have a foreword and then my regular essay. We designed the book to be read with a flow, and you'll be able to read each essay in isolation or each section and get a lot out of it. But for the sake of leaning into that personal narrative theme that we were talking about earlier, we broke the book up into 4 sections that may look similar to your personal practice. So we start with awakening, then move to introspection, accountability, and then leading. And in the foreword, I model my journey towards anti-racism and animal advocacy using those themes. So I want to kind of have a real talk moment with you and say that you'll notice that there are a lot of white voices in this book. We actually have 8 white authors and 8 authors of the global majority. And we've already got a lot of questions about our decision to do this and include so many white authors. And so I'm going to read from my foreword to address this and address the role of white folks in doing this work. I'm incredibly proud of this volume, of every essay, and of each author. The stories we're about to read offer personal narratives and articulate the seeds of anti-racist action plans from various vantage points. I hope readers, especially white readers, will consider these perspectives with openness and genuine curiosity and use them as springboards for conversations about racism with their colleagues, friends, and family. If you find yourself moving to the edge of your comfort zone as you read and engage with this content, I encourage you to pause and ask yourself why. Maybe you need to read more about a new term. Be sure to check out the glossary at the back of the book, or have a thoughtful discussion with a trusted friend or colleague. Think back to when the concept of animal rights felt difficult to confront and how you challenged yourself to grow despite the reckoning you needed to face within your own participation in animal suffering. Liberation practitioner Andrea Renee reminds us that anti-racism is not an identity or a checklist, it's a practice. So get ready to roll up your sleeves. The role of white folks. Racism is a problem white folks created, so the burden should be on whites to break it down and rebuild. However, to date, this hasn't happened. For the most part, Black, Indigenous, and people of the global majority have taken on the emotional burden, the physical labor, and the harsh consequences, including death, for leading the efforts to combat racism. So let me offer a reminder that we need a new definition of allyship that centers the work whites can and must do to fight racism. Humanitarian Sonia Renee Taylor brilliantly articulates this need. I don't want an ally, because an ally means you came here to help me. How are you helping me solve a problem you caused? Why aren't I helping you solve the problem you caused? Why am I not the ally and you the actor? Why is Blackness the responsibility holder and whiteness gets to be the helper? In part to address this, I encourage white folks to view the insights by PGM offer in these pages and in daily life as gifts, and engage boldly and wholeheartedly, even when it makes you uncomfortable. More than anything else, my white colleagues, don't let fear hold you back, because we need you.
Arianesh, thank you so much for your leadership, for your incredible talents. You have so many talents. I think that we discovered some talents that you didn't even know you had in the process of this. Like, you're just a very talented editor and curator, and your passion really comes through in your words. And I've learned so much from you. So you are a true mentor to me and to so many here. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
I would like to bring Martin Rowe, the co-founder of Lantern Publishing and Media and the guy who helped bring this book to life. So let's bring Martin to the stage. Hey, Martin, how's it going?
Good evening. It's going very well. I think we're almost on schedule, right? So that's pretty good.
Sort of. There's a few panicked texts happening in the background, but that's par for the course. I am so grateful to you, and so many of us are, for really paving the way for this book. It wouldn't have happened without you. We're so grateful to you for all that you're doing at Lantern, and for those people who are maybe new to the movement or haven't heard of Lantern before, well, hopefully they have, but if they haven't, tell us what Lantern is and why you were interested in publishing this anthology.
So Lantern Publishing and Media, which had a previous iteration as Lantern Books, has been a publisher of veganism and animal rights, social justice, religion and family therapy for 20 years, over 20 years. And we're very committed to hearing new voices and bringing new ideas and passions to those issues. And that's what we do.
Well, I will say on a personal note that when I was 24, and those numbers are flipped now, just to give you an idea, Martin was one of the first people who I connected with who was a publisher. And I sat in his office as a 24-year-old and said, how can I get involved in writing and in editing? And you gave me advice, and here we are. So thank you so much. The Lantern has so many incredible books. I'll ask you one final question, Martin. What do you hope comes out of this book being in the world now?
Well, peace and social justice. I mean, that's a large question to ask of a book, but we hope all of our books at least move the conversation forward, deepen it, widen it, bring in new voices that may have not felt that they had space to share their views, to maybe break down some of the gatekeepers of culture and ideas, to make people aware of the many veganisms and many animal advocacies that are available to them. And through the process of reading, which is an intimate experience that is less subject to social pressures, and where you can respond with imagination and empathy, you can create space for very deep personal change that then might lead to larger commitments to ongoing social change.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. If you want to get a copy of the book, click that button at the bottom. Martin, thank you for all that you're doing. Now, let's give away some more prizes, because I know that's also something people are really looking forward to. Brialle, I'm going to bring you back on. How's it going?
Hello, hello. I'm so excited to be back with the second round of prizes. Pew, 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 pew. As a reminder, if you win, our team's going to reach out to you to make sure that you receive these amazing prizes. So first up this round, we have a beautiful book, Allowed to Grow Old by Isa Lesko, which features portraits of elderly rescued farm animals. Like, how amazing is this? You're also
that is so beautiful.
A beautiful poster of Bessie, a 20-year-old cow. So we're so grateful to give this away to one lucky winner who's also going to get 2 soaps from Lush. Next up, we have a $50 gift card for some delicious cookies. Who doesn't love a good vegan cookie? Now, the great thing about these is they are gluten-free, reducing all of the allergen-causing things. So one lucky person is going to go home with this. And we're also going to drop the link. So in case you don't win and you still want to try these delicious cookies, you can get some. Our final prize for this segment is from Hannah Shaw, aka the Kitten Lady, and she donated a copy of her New York Times best-selling book, Tiny But Mighty. Like, how adorable!
Oh my gosh! Come on,
right?
That's like off the cuteometer. I thought you were gonna say she donated some kittens, but that's even better. Get the book.
This is one of the ones that you have to like keep on your coffee table so everyone can see the adorableness.
Totally.
So this is a definitive resource on saving the most vulnerable feline population, newborn kitties. So the winner of this package is also getting 2 soaps from Lush. So shout out to Lush because they're just throwing in goodies in everybody's bag.
I love Lush.
So the winner of our Allowed to Grow Old book and poster plush Lush soaps is Allison Sirac.
Allison, yeah, you won.
And the winner of the $50 Partake Cookie gift card is Sydney Benz. Woo, go
Sydney! What? That's so great. Oh my gosh. I love seeing all of this love. Keep it coming in the comments. That's it for now, but we'll be back later. So
one more.
You have one more? Oh my gosh. I think I was just trying to keep it for myself.
The winner of Tiny But Mighty and Lush soaps is Amy Cavanicia. Woo!
Oh,
and
Amy.
That's all for now.
You are a lucky, lucky person. Sorry to almost jump on that. I swear I wasn't trying to take the book for myself. Well, maybe a little. Okay. We're going to be back with Brialle later. And next up, we have 2 of the contributors, Brooke and Unny, who are going to be joining me. Brooke is the executive director at Faunalytics with over a decade of experience in the nonprofit sector. And Unny is an Encompass board member, a contributor in the book, and a wellness facilitator based in Minneapolis. Welcome, you 2.
Thanks, Jasmine.
Oh, we only have you. Okay, wait, here comes Brooke. Welcome, you 2.
Hi.
Hi.
All right, I'm going to hand it over to you 2 because I know we have a very exciting round of questions happening. I'll watch from the sidelines.
Hi, Unny.
Thanks so much. Hi, Brooke. Great to see you.
It's great to be here.
So we're going to do another 2-minute round rapid fire questions. So don't think too much about it.
Whew, okay, let's do it.
Mind. I know we have a lot to live up to with Sol's great answers here. So I'm going to start a timer right now. What's your favorite vegan restaurant?
It's called Sips. It's a Pan-Asian restaurant chain in San Diego, California. I love it.
Who inspires you?
Oh, gosh, everybody in this room today is extremely inspiring. The energy, the collaboration that made this collection come to life. I couldn't be more inspired than I am right now.
What are 2 things on your bucket list?
Oh, I would say more travel. I'm so lucky to have traveled a bit in my time. And I'd say once things are safe again, I can't wait to get back out there and see more of the world. It opens up my eyes and my horizons. And the other thing, I guess, adopt a bunch of dogs once I have a big property. I'm a cat person right now and would love a big yard one day and to adopt what I think is the legal maximum of 6 in San Diego.
And what's your favorite place to hike?
Here locally, we have a place called Mission Trails, which is really close and easy for me. But I've also gotten to hike some mountains in other countries like Peru and Guatemala, and those are where my heart lies.
A non-human animal noise you can replicate most closely.
Oh God.
Let's hear it, Brooke.
Meow.
Okay. Why should people read the Encompass book?
Everyone should read this book for a number of reasons, but I think in particular, I want to say that white folks should read this book because it really is about accountability and what we can learn from our mistakes, from others' insight, and how we can move forward to make this movement more equitable and inclusive.
Great. Thanks so much. Time's up, Brooke. That was so much fun.
I will say that, Brooke, if you decide to go beyond the legal limit of cats in San Diego, none of us will say anything. I'm just throwing it out there. You were both such a joy to work with. And this is a sentence I've been waiting to say all day. Now for a very special message from Congressman Jamie Raskin.
Hey, it's Congressman Jamie Raskin from Maryland's beautiful 8th Congressional District. I'm just sending all my best to my friends with Encompass on the exciting occasion of the release of this new collection of essays. I've read through the essays. It's really terrific, and it's an extremely important issue, an extremely important cause that you've taken up. And I think it's just super important that we promote authentic broadening and diversification of the animal welfare and animal rights movement. And that is going to be the key to success and the key to hitting a turning point and a tipping point in the population. So we can do away with the most horrific practices of animal abuse and exploitation that are taking place. So thank you for this important intellectual journey you're on, and I hope that we translate it from the page to civic and public life and organizations all over the country. Thanks for what you're doing.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for Arianesh for making that incredible connection. And again, I was so delighted to be the editor of this anthology. I know we're running a little bit late on time today, so I'm going to read just a very, very brief excerpt from the introduction to the book, which I put together, which is called Self-Discovery and the Pursuit of Racial Equity in Animal Advocacy. And please, as I'm doing this, if you haven't yet, click Get the Book. And if you have, click Get the Book. Again, okay. Hanukkah's coming up, so is Christmas. Okay. There is a banner on a store around the corner from where I live in West Hollywood that says, "This is the year you will get everything you want." It should be noted that this sign appears in the window of a tanning salon, which, along with each of its neighboring businesses, was shut down in March 2020 as the pandemic struck the United States. Even in real life, or is quarantine real life now, I would have been perplexed as to how something as banal as a tanning bed could lead to realized dreams. Perhaps that is why every time I pass that sign, walking my 3 little old dogs after donning a penguin printed face mask and doing my best to maintain social distance, I make a point of rolling my eyes, a gesture that is blissfully still visible to passersby. As a longtime animal activist whose social justice seeds were planted when I came of age 20 years ago, working in an AIDS awareness theater company, which eventually opened the doors for me to explore social justice from the vantage point of our being interconnected with one another, it never ceases to astound me how asinine and alienating marketing can be. The colossal and dangerous disconnect between the glitzy signs above me on Santa Monica Boulevard and the real life signs that our nation is doing all it can to deepen the racial divide staggers me. This is especially true since I am regularly confronted with privileged white neighbors who callously and carelessly abandon their face coverings, along with any recognition that the novel coronavirus has resulted in yet another modern-day manifestation of racism, as communities of color are disproportionately impacted by this devastating disease. So, I'll stop there, but the introduction goes on and on to talk about how in that moment, the racial justice training that Encompass put together was suddenly made digital. And so in the midst of all of this complete chaos, there we were. Michelle, I'm so glad that you're back up. Do you remember these early days when you were working as the managing director at Encompass and suddenly you had to be basically the very first organization to turn your in-person training into a digital one?
I do remember. It's still fresh in my mind, and it's an experience that changed me, and it helps set the stage for becoming much more adaptable since then. We're going to have to be adaptable.
Amazing. Well, Michelle, how do you hope that others will use this book?
This book is an amazing opportunity for every reader to reflect and think about how they're going to use their power. Everybody has power. And every contributor in this book has different kinds of power. We have here essays and reflections from people who lead organizations, from people who fund organizations, from people who have started organizations, from people who work on the front lines of advocacy for animals. And what we have to remember is when we say and we stand for anti-racism, we're not doing anything until we actually take a step. And this book is full of reflections of people who have taken steps. And we demonstrate how that work is accessible to all of us, and we each play a part. It is not like it's in the history books where we are forced to memorize the 3 most important people who contributed in a particular day. The work for anti-racism is lifelong. It is multi-generational. And so this book is an invitation for each of us to accept that opportunity and that challenge, step into our power, and do all that we can to create the future that we can imagine.
I remember at the very beginning of this, when I was putting the introduction together, you and Arianesh were both like, well, what are you going to do specifically? And so I started to lay it out. No, but specifically, what will you do? And that was something that really inspired me when I was working with the writers on the book, and all of the contributors were so honest about what they have done and what they want to do. And we really got granular. So I encourage anybody who cares about being part of a better world to click on Get the Book down below. And Michelle, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with me and with all of our contributors throughout this process. To say that it's been wonderful working with you is a giant understatement. I'm so grateful.
It is mutual, for sure.
Well, it's time again for prizes. So let's bring the wonderful Brialle back. I think this might be the final prizes, but we'll see when she pops back on the screen. And how amazing is Brialle, by the way? Let's show her some love in the comment section. Can you imagine starting a job and then suddenly it's like, oh, and by the way, the very first thing you're going to do is help us with this incredible event. So I think that she might be freezing up a little bit, but here's Amy Lubert from Encompass. What are you doing here?
Hi. Oh, I was here to tell you that Brielle's internet wasn't working. But here's
now it is. But hang on a second. Amy has been such an incredible organizer of this event. Like truly the magic behind the curtain is Amy Lubert, who happens to have a very big birthday tomorrow. So please, let's send her some love in the comments. And Brialle, welcome back. Let's get to some more prizes.
Yes. Okay. We have our final prize giveaways, and these ones are fully loaded. Okay. So first up, the Equity Literacy Institute and Paul Gorski has graciously donated 1 registration to their upcoming Racial Equity Facilitator training. Wow. So this 10-hour training kicks off on Tuesdays in October, and the winner of this package is also going to go home with some great Lush products as well. So a White Rabbit bath bomb, some other bath bombs, some lip scrubs. So you're going to be skin glowing, consciousness elevated, okay?
Lush is making sure that vegans smell good. I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, we don't smell like patchouli all the time. Am I right? Lush makes sure we have multiple flavors.
Exactly. Okay. They're making sure. And our next prize is from our wonderful editor, Jasmine Singer, okay, who has written 2 other books, and you are going home with both. So first, Veg News Guide to Being a Fabulous Vegan, as well as the other book from Jasmine, Always Too Much, Never Enough. So,
ooh, that's an exciting prize. Maybe not as exciting as those cookies before, but it's still winning something.
It's amazing because they're also not only going home with 2 fabulous books, they're also going to go home with some of Tabitha Brown's Sunshine Seasoning and Lush products. Okay, these were fully loaded.
Wait, I love Tabitha Brown. I just wanted to say that again. Love her. Love the seasoning.
Yes. And then our final prize this evening, another lucky winner is going home with a copy of our book, Antiracism and Animal Advocacy, Igniting Cultural Transformation. And they're also going home with a 7-part confectionery collection for bath, shower, and body from Lush. It's a bunch of like fairy dusting powder, body sprays, shampoo bars. Like you're just gonna be glowing like a vegan fairy goddess. Okay.
That's the name of our next book. Martin, if you're still watching, we want another book deal, and it's called Glowing Like a Vegan Fairy Goddess.
Okay, I would love to contribute to that one.
I think you basically define it, Brialle. I'm just saying. Wow.
And they're also getting some Tabitha Brown seasoning. So let's see who the winners are of these final prizes. First up, the Racial Equity Facilitator Training and Lush package goes to Diamond King.
Diamond, yes.
Yes, I actually know that person. Amazing. And then the winner of Jasmine's books and Lush package and Sunshine seasoning is Nicole Toth.
Nicole, I got you. I'm going to send it to you.
And lastly, the final prize of the evening, our book, The Lush Package and Tabitha Brown Seasoning, is Haley Abelman. So congratulations to all of our amazing winners. We are going to follow up with you all to get your address and make sure you get all these prizes.
Yes, and congrats to all of you, Brialle. Thank you so much. What an incredible human you are, and what a beautiful presenter you are. We're going to have to do this more often so that you could be our fairy goddess, our vegan smell goody fairy goddess. Congrats to everyone. As Brialle said, be on the lookout for that email from Encompass. And I just want to say, as we're winding down, it is just such a beautiful evening. It is just an incredible moment to be here with you two, Michelle and Arianesh. We were on so many Zoom calls like this, but like here we are with giant book covers in our background now. How are you both feeling? Arianesh, how about you? What a moment for you.
I know. I'm getting messages from people saying we're buying the book. Some places are saying it's sold out. I'm looking on Amazon. We're number 4 under mixed heritage and multiracial titles, number 10 on animal rights. It's like, this is incredible. Wow. I just want to say thank you so much to our strongest supporters. That is all of you who are here. You care, you take action, you show up. It just means so much to me personally. It gives me hope to see this group of people who care about the movement, who want to shape it to be, you know, reflective of our values and have our values live in line with our actions. I'm just so grateful. I wish we could be in person and I could just give everyone a big hug. So accept my virtual hug. Extra special thank you to our donors, especially our monthly supporters. This book, this organization would not be here without you. So thank you from the deepest part of my heart. Please consider making a gift today and buying the book if you haven't already. It'll help keep the momentum going. I'm just blown away right now. Thank you. Michelle, how are you feeling?
I feel wonderful. I feel very grateful and proud of this project, of everyone who contributed to bringing it to life. It was truly a birthing of something that didn't exist before. And I feel very energized about what happens tomorrow and what we create tomorrow as we reflect on our own, as we learn from other people's experiences by reading this book. How much more could we create and leave better for the next generation? I'm feeling very optimistic that we absolutely have what it takes to create a better movement.
Well, if you haven't yet hit buy the book, what are you waiting for? It's selling out. So thank you all so much. Please keep the love coming in the comments as we're wrapping this up. And please make sure that you share about the book on social media. This is so important, everyone. So if you can, like, say what moves you or what resonates with you on social media, tag Encompass, buy the book, write reviews on Amazon. Even if you don't buy the book through Amazon, write reviews on Amazon. Invite Encompass to speak at your organization or your school, or to come onto your podcast and talk about the book. And be on the lookout for the audiobooks, which will be hosted by our Hen House throughout the month of October. Just subscribe to our Hen House if you aren't yet, and it'll come into your feed. This is the first event in history to end on time. This is how amazing we are. This is how we're changing the world. My name is Jasmine Singer. I'm here with Arianesh, Birdie, and Michelle Rojas-Soto from Encompass. Thank you so much to everyone, and congratulations to all of the contributors here and everyone who helped make Antiracism and Animal Advocacy possible. See you soon.
Thank you.